Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead. I've had people asking me again, hey, show us how you make your bundles with twine and a stick. And I responded, I already have a video on how to make bundles with 2 cents of twine and a stick, but I have improved my efficiency in how I do things. I can make them much quicker and better, and I don't pop the strings as much. So I will I'm doing a new video, an update on that, and I'll quickly go through how I make my bundles. The first improvement since the last video is I can now back my pickup right to my firewood stack. And so what that does for me is, 1, it gives me a tailgate to work on as a bench. 2, I'm not going back and forth trying to get wood to where I'm creating it. And then once I make the bundle, I just set it up a little bit further in the pickup and it's all sitting there, and I drive right to the firewood stand and I dump it out. So putting the pickup right here makes it a lot more efficient. So making bundles efficiently starts in my garage. This is something that some of you might not want to do because you don't have a table saw. You can, but it involves cutting very consistent sticks. And so the first thing that I do is I take an old piece of 2x4 that's laying around and I chop it off at 14 inches. That's because most of my firewood pieces are 16 inches long. This is 14 inches. So if you put this on there and go and twist it and it's not exact centered, it's not hanging off the end of the bundle and making it so you can't stack things efficiently. It'll still tie up, but it's nice to have a cleaner bundle that way. Then I like to cut them on the table saw, and I cut them 3/8 or actually 7/16. And there's a couple reasons for doing this, but the single most important reason that I ended up exactly this is I could cut 3/8 strips off of the 2x4, take 3 of them, stand them on edge, and then cut them, and 3 pieces will be divided up into with no waste. You'll get 3 pieces out of this. And so after doing that, I'll have 9 pieces quite quickly, and then they're easy to tie up. The other thing I like about cutting these is, you know, when I'm splitting, I was doing the sticks, just splitting pieces of firewood. You need to have a straight grain to do that, otherwise you're messing around with wider and thicker and skinnier or whatever. And the other thing is, when you do that, sometimes you get pieces that come at a sharper angle than 90 degrees, so when you're tying it, twisting it to tourniquet, sometimes it'll cut through the twine. This, when you cut it like this, you have no angle sharper than 90 degrees. The next improvement of note that I have is I made this little rack to create the size of bundles that I want and not have the wood rolling all over the place. You're simply going to be setting the wood in here, filling up this box, and I cut this a little bit lower than I actually want the wood to be. The wood's not going to tumble out here, but when I had it up at the height that I actually wanted the wood to fill up to get the size bundle I wanted, when I was twisting the stick, sometimes I was hitting it and it was slowing it down. So this is cut a little bit lower. I have a 2x4 on the bottom holding it here, so I have a 2x4 here. So when you set it in here, it sets level. What that also allows is when I pull my twine up, I lay it underneath in the groove of the two, and I can set the wood in, and then I'm able to easily grab the twine on the other side. As I pull the twine and cut the twine, let me tip this down, I pop it in the groove here when it's cut off, and it doesn't drop to the ground, and I'm not constantly picking it up over there, and I have my bundle right there. Once again, I use a pretty heavy duty baling twine. This is holds 240 pound strength. You could twist on this pretty good and not pop the twine. Bundle number 1. Pull the line across again. Fill our rack. Important that it's a square knot. On my square knot, I have the end of the string in my right hand. I bring it behind the other string and then go underneath, and then I have that in my left hand and I take it behind the string again and pull it, and then I have a square knot. This is very important to have a square knot. They don't slip out, and it tends to not break as much for some reason. Granny knots just aren't going to work. Have your extra string to tie off again underneath here before you start twisting, because you get it too tight. and you won't be able to get your string in. There you go, nice tight bundle. Okay, so I said the square knot was important, so here's another view of it. Here, this is the end of my twine. Here's the string coming from the bale. I take the end of the twine behind and go through. Now that same end goes behind again, and then pull it through, it forms a square knot. When you have a square knot done right, you could slide it back and forth. It looks like two staples sliding over the top of each other. Back and forth. So there you have it, the updated version on how to make bundles with 2 cents of twine and a stick. A couple of things to remember: cutting your sticks and making them more uniform is beneficial. Put them on a rack that is backed up to your pickup. Your pickup is backed up to the wood pile, so you can make the bundles, leave them in the truck and take them down there. Have your baling twine stuck to the gate so it doesn't fall back down. You have a groove here to lay it in, and make sure you use a square knot so your knots don't slip out. Once again, thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business. Teaching and including horticulture is my job, and outdoor projects like this are my passion. Hope to see you again soon, everyone. Be blessed.